of my notes on moles. I can only record 15 minutes at a time with the free version of this app that I'm using. So remember, we were in the middle of this problem, and we've got we were canceling out moles and trying to get to atoms, and I didn't have my atoms on here. There's atoms. And I was getting ready to type it into the calculator. I'm using my EE button instead of the times 10. So I got 2.75 times 10 to the 24th. And then I want to double check sig figs. A lot of times 3 sig figs is what they give you in these examples. That has 3 sig figs, and that has 3 sig figs. So the only thing I'm missing here is my label, atoms. Oh, I'm also missing my label on this last one. This one's molecules. Okay, next one. How many atoms are in 2.4 moles of CaCl2? This one's a little tricky. I'm going to go ahead and copy and paste that so I don't have to type it all. I'm going to put my given on top. My 1 on the bottom. So then I know since the moles are on top here, I'm going to have to put moles on the bottom. So I put my 1 mole on the bottom. And then up on top, I need to think, are they asking for mass? Are they asking for particles? They're asking for particles. So that means I'm going to have to use the 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd. And then they want atoms, but this one requires you to think a little bit because you need to look at this calcium chloride and think back to the last few units when we were doing ionic compounds and recognize that's a compound, not an atom. So here I'm going to put molecule. And here you can't really abbreviate molecule mole. So I usually at least put the C on there. Okay, so that's 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd molecules because calcium chloride is a molecule. It's not just one atom. So now I'm going to have one more step. I'm going to have to put molecules on the bottom because molecules are on top. So with this one, this last step is not too tricky. It's not one of the conversion factors that I've given you. You just have to think about it. So I need to get to atoms. So you should think, if I have 1 molecule of calcium chloride, how many atoms do I have? Well, if you look at it, you know how to do this. We counted these up in the last unit. You've got 1 calcium and you've got 2 chlorines. So that's 3 atoms. That's a little tricky. Before you use that 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd, you have to think, what label do I put here? So if they're giving you a molecule, you put molecule. If they're giving you an atom, like on the last one, copper's an atom, you can put atom. But here I can't put atom because calcium chloride is not 1 atom. All right, so then you plug those in your calculator. They're all on top, so you just multiply across the top. I'm going to skip the answer there. Hopefully you guys can figure that one out. All right, last one. They're giving me formula units of that whole thing. And unfortunately, they're asking for mass, which means that we're going to have to add that whole thing together. All right, so I'm putting that up on top. They are asking us for mass, but we are starting off with formula units. So that means, and we stopped calling, technically these are formula units, but we've been calling them molecules. So I'm going to change that to molecules because you guys haven't heard of formula units. Okay, so I'm going to have to put molecules down here. And you should think, what's the number that I always use for representative particles? If it's molecules or atoms or ions, you can have this conversion on your conversion card so that you remember that you're always using the 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd. It's just like the last one, except we're flipping it around. So we've got that number on the bottom instead of having it on the top like we did up there. So that means if I flip it, now I've got my mole on top. All right, so we would be done if they were asking for moles because that's what's on top, but they're asking for kilograms. So I'm gonna have to keep going. On the bottom, now I want moles to cancel. All right, molecules canceled. Now moles will go on the bottom. Remember, for now, moles will be 1. All right, and now I need to get to molecules. Or no, I don't. I just got out of molecules. I need to get to mass. But my conversion from moles goes to grams. So I'm not going to go straight to kilograms. Now you're going to have to look at the periodic table and add these up. And you're also going to have to do some distribution here. Your 2, remember your 2 goes with the N and your 2 goes with the H. So I've got 14 times 2. I'm doing this in my head, but so remember nitrogen is 14 and you have 2 of them. You're using your periodic table to figure this out. And then your hydrogen is 1, but you got 2 times 4 is 8. So you have 8 for the mass of hydrogen. And then sulfur you'd look up. It's 32. There it is. Oops. And then my oxygen. Remember your oxygen is 16. 16 times 4. It doesn't like it like that. Hit the times button. It's 64. Okay, and then you're going to plug those all into your calculator. I'm missing one of them. 32. $132. Hopefully that's right. I don't have you guys to check my math. So I will plug that in here. All right, so now you think you're finally done, right? Well, if you go back and double check yourself, they want to know how many kilograms there are, and we're still at grams. So we still have to do one more step. This is one of your metric conversions. So I'll just put G because that's what we would normally put. So grams to kilograms. Remember, kilograms is the bigger one, so kilograms will be 1. And then if you look at your conversion card, this is 1 times 10 to the 3rd. Grams in 1 kilogram. And then you're going to plug that in your calculator. I'll let you guys do that on your own. You'll do this number divided by the 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd times 132 divided by 1 times 10 to the 3rd.